Have you ever shared something precious, an idea, a dream, a blessing, and then watched it unravel soon after? That's not always coincidence. Sometimes it's exposure. God never told you to announce everything He's doing in your life. Scripture reminds us there is a time to be silent and a time to speak. The problem is, many people speak during seasons that were meant to be protected. When you reveal something too early, you invite opinions, doubt, jealousy, and sometimes spiritual resistance. Not everyone who listens is rooting for you. Some smile on the outside while wrestling internally with what God is building in you. Silence is not secrecy. It's stewardship. It protects momentum. It keeps the process pure. Because what God is forming doesn't need explanation. It needs protection. Results speak louder than announcements. And sometimes the holiest thing you can do is keep it between you and God until it's ready. There are seasons in your life when silence is not weakness. It's wisdom. God often gives you a vision before He gives you the audience. And one of the fastest ways to slow down what God is building is to announce it before it's ready. We live in a culture that rewards visibility, but heaven often works in privacy. When God gives you a future plan, He usually tells you to walk it out, not broadcast it. The moment you speak too early, you invite interference. Opinions start forming. Doubt creeps in. Jealousy awakens. And sometimes spiritual resistance begins before the promise even takes shape. Joseph is a powerful example. His dream was real. It was from God. But sharing it prematurely turned his destiny into a battlefield. Not everyone who listens is spiritually aligned with what God is doing in you. Some smile outwardly while resisting inwardly. If God didn't authorize the audience, don't give them the information. Silence protects momentum. The same principle applies to your spiritual battles. Some battles are meant to be fought in prayer, not discussed in public. When you explain your struggles to the wrong people, you give influence to those who don't understand the fight. Our warfare is not against flesh and blood. So why involve flesh and blood unnecessarily? Silence in spiritual warfare is not weakness, it's strategy. Even Jesus kept certain battles between Himself and the Father. You don't need a crowd to win a war. You need alignment. And then there's your next blessing. Not every promise needs publicity. Sometimes announcing what you're believing God for can contaminate it. The wrong listener may respond with doubt disguised as concern, or jealousy masked as celebration. Not every "I'm happy for you" is spiritually clean. Some blessings grow best in quiet soil. Silence keeps expectation pure. It protects hope from contamination. What God adds to your life does not need human advertisement. Your weak moments require even greater protection. Vulnerability is sacred, but it must be shared wisely. Not everyone deserves access to your most fragile spaces. Some people don't help you heal. They collect information, and once your weakness is exposed to the wrong ears, whilst it becomes a label instead of a testimony. God does not restore you for public entertainment. He restores you for transformation. What He is healing in you should not always be explained while it's still under construction. Early exposure can reopen wounds He is trying to close. Not everyone sees the miracle. Some only see the scar. Silence gives God room to finish what He started. When the fruit appears, explanation won't be necessary. Your past identity is another thing you don't owe everyone access to. God forgave it. God healed it. God redeemed it. But people don't always update their perception of you. Some revisit a version of you that heaven already closed. Your past was a chapter, not the title of your life. And then there is your inner peace. Peace is fragile when constantly defended. The more you explain your growth, the more you disturb it. Some people question your calm because it exposes their chaos. If your peace cost you prayer, surrender, tears, and obedience, it does not owe anyone clarity. Some things are hidden not because they are wrong, but because they are holy. Before you share something precious, ask yourself, did God tell me to say this? Or am I seeking validation? Oversharing weakens protection. Silence strengthens stewardship. Guard what God entrusted to you. Not everything needs an audience. Not everything needs explanation. Some seasons require quiet faith and disciplined restraint. Because when the timing is right, the results will speak louder than any announcement ever could. If this message convicted or confirmed something in your spirit, type "I will guard it" in the comments. And stay close. Because next, we're going to talk about what happens when God starts removing people who had too much access to you. Sometimes protection doesn't look like addition. Sometimes it looks like subtraction.